Ever get that feeling, like you're staring at a scoreboard that just isn't yours and everyone else seems to be winning?
Yeah, exactly. It's like every time you check your phone, you see someone's milestone and boom, you feel behind.
Right? It's like you're comparing your everyday life to someone else's highlight reel, and it's not about your
Mm-hmm.
actual timeline, it's about someone else's clock.
Totally. It's like you wake up, scroll, and suddenly you're thinking you're late for a race that you never even signed up for.
Exactly. And what's wild is that the notion of being behind isn't really about real time. It's about comparison, you know? When
Yeah.
we measure our success by someone else's timeline, it's a total misalignment.
I mean, think about it. Money, success, relationships, they all get thrown into this mix, and suddenly your life feels like it's lagging.
Right? And then you're trapped in these mental constructs like the social timeline, the parental timeline, and that trap of the highlight timeline. It's a
Exactly.
three-part framework controlling your anxiety.
Can you break down the social timeline piece a bit more? Because I feel like that's where a lot of us get stuck.
Sure. So the social timeline is like the societal checklist. By 25, you should be stable. By 30, you should be successful, and so on. But who
Yeah,
honestly set these deadlines?
right. It sounds arbitrary. A bunch of average markers or even outdated expectations. I mean, are these real or just projections of someone else's insecurities?
Exactly. It's like comparing apples to oranges. Those timestamps were never personalized for you. They're
Uh
based on
huh.
like someone else's script.
What about the parental timeline? That one always messes with my head.
Oh man, the parental timeline is a whole different beast. It's that constant reminder when I was your age, I already had this. But dude, those were different times. A totally different economy, culture, and even technology.
Yeah,
It's like comparing last century's blueprint to today's building plan.
I get that. It's almost like you're fighting an impossible battle by measuring yourself with standards that, frankly, don't even exist anymore.
Yes, yes. And then we hit the highlight timeline, which is probably the most dangerous. This is where social
Absolutely.
media compresses years of reality into a few seconds.
Exactly. You see those polished moments, successes, big wins, and you never see the behind the scenes mess.
Right, it's like watching a movie trailer that omits all the failed auditions and rough cuts. You end up comparing your invisible struggles with someone else's
Yep.
director's cut of life, and it makes you feel even more behind.
I have to wonder though, doesn't that set a dangerous precedent? Like if we keep doing this, we might rush into decisions, right?
Oh, definitely. When you're constantly thinking you're lagging, that anxiety makes you pull impulsive moves, like switching jobs on a whim or forcing relationships. It's like you're panicking and trying to catch up to a race that doesn't exist.
Mm-hmm. And that's the psychological trap. You chase after these markers of status, even if it means, sacrificing long-term paths that actually matter.
Absolutely. It's not about capability, but like panic induced decision making. You make choices not because they align with your true goals, but because you feel that urgent pressure to be on time.
Yeah,
And that really
exactly.
messes up your timing.
Right? The more you rush, the more you derail your natural progress. Speaking of progress, what's your take on the invisible phase of growth mentioned in the talk?
Oh, that's one of my favorite parts. It's like realizing that most of your growth is happening under the radar. Skills compound quietly, confidence builds. It's like the magic happens invisibly. Even if
Exactly.
you feel stuck, you're actually setting the stage for later breakthroughs.
So you're saying that even when things look stagnant, that's just the quiet buildup?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. It's like planting a seed. It takes time to sprout. In the initial phase, you might not see dramatic changes, but all that work is compounding silently. The overnight success is usually
True.
years in the making.
I find that really refreshing to reframe that idea of being behind. Instead, you focus on being aligned with your own journey rather than, someone else's milestones.
Right. In fact, the big shift is changing the question from, am I late, to am I aligned? It's about direction, not
Absolutely.
speed. You can sprint in the wrong direction and still feel empty, or move slowly in the right direction and feel grounded.
There's a sense of relief in that notion. If you're aligned, who cares about the pace?
Exactly. It really dismantles that toxic race mentality. It tells you that every strong story might look chaotic in progress, but it all makes sense in hindsight.
Yeah, I totally get that. But here's something I struggle with. If you're always comparing yourself, isn't there some merit in knowing where you stand relative to others? I mean, doesn't that help set goals?
That's a fair point. But the
Uh-huh.
key is distinguishing between inspiration and comparison. When you set goals based on someone else's timeline, you're chasing their achievements instead of carving your own path.
Right, so it's more about using others as a hint of what's possible rather than a strict benchmark you must hit.
Exactly. And social media, especially, magnifies this by stripping away all the struggles and only showing success highlights, a condensed trailer, you might say.
Yeah, it's true. And that plays perfectly into the invisible phase concept. If you only see the climax, you miss all the behind-the-scenes work that gets you there.
Yes, completely. The real story is in all the unnoticed moments, the investments, the learning curve that eventually lead to those big breakthroughs.
Exactly. It's like every setback or slow phase is actually setting you up for more sustainable success later on.
Right, and that's when you can reframe your identity. Instead of asking, why am I behind? You shift to, what am I building that isn't impressive yet?
Yeah, precisely. That's a much healthier conversation to have with yourself. It acknowledges that growth is unique and, personal.
Absolutely. It's about recognizing that you're not on some universal timeline. You're on a path that only makes sense when you look back.
Right. So in essence, instead of racing with a clock that isn't yours, you tune into your own progress and, build on it.
Yes, and by doing that, you intentionally drop the weight of external expectations. You're aligning your actions with your values, not someone else's schedule.
Yeah, exactly. It almost feels like a call to action, not to sprint, but to engage with your unique journey without the relentless pressure.
Absolutely. And that's the real shift. It's about rethinking what success looks like and embracing the messy, chaotic middle phase as necessary and valuable.
I love that perspective because it acknowledges that feeling off track is normal, but it doesn't have to define your progress.
Right, and if you step back from the constant comparison, you start to see that every strong story, no matter how chaotic in the middle, eventually comes together.
Indeed, it's a powerful reminder. Your timeline is yours alone. A little pace, a little pause, and a lot more self-compassion go a long way.
Absolutely. And that's why it's so important to stop asking, why am I behind? And start asking, what am I building? Because, in the end, the real measure of success is alignment, not speed or comparison.
Yeah, I totally agree. This conversation leaves me with a renewed focus on my own journey, appreciating the invisible phases and trusting that progress, however subtle, is still progress.
Exactly. So remember, you are not late. You are not behind. You're just on your own path, one that's unfolding at exactly the right pace for you.
Definitely. And that's a wrap on that thought. An empowering reminder to measure success not by someone else's clock, but by your own genuine growth.